WearTesters.
Hey, what's up guys? This is Nightwing2303 from WearTesters.com. Today we got another performance review, and it's on these guys right here, the Jordan Melo M12. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get right into it. So initially, the Jordan M12 looked like they would have some really great traction on court. However, they proved to be pretty lackluster for a period of time. These guys definitely need to be broken in, and that's whether or not I was on a clean court or a dirty court. The rubber just, for whatever reason, wasn't sticking whatsoever until it kind of like broke through the initial layer. So if you've worn these a handful of times and so far you're mildly disappointed, don't worry, be a little bit patient. The rubber does break in. It doesn't turn into amazing traction, but it gets better. Now, something that I was definitely disappointed with though is that when I took these guys outside, they just didn't last, and I only took them outside once, and it was for about 2 hours. Typically, there's no real timetable for any shoe, you know what I mean? Like, it just kind of depends on how long you're playing in them, the surface, how rough you play, how light you play, all that kind of stuff. So there's no definitive guide for how long a single shoe will last, indoor or outdoor. But to have played in these guys for 2 hours and have pieces of rubber just completely wear down, that was just crazy to me. I was literally shocked. I looked at my shoes when I got back inside. I was like, yo, what happened? They played well outdoors, so don't get me wrong, just durability was horrible. Now, as far as cushion, we have unlock zoom once again, and it's only featured in the forefoot here, so there's absolutely nothing in the heel. All this is just a file-on midsole. Now, the forefoot's cushion is one of the shoe's best features. To get a cushion source like this for the price is a pretty good deal. However, once again, it's just isolated to the forefoot, nothing whatsoever in the heel, and this definitely does take some breaking time. They start off very stiff, and the problem with this setup, even though it was good in the forefoot, is just that there is nothing in the rear, and nowadays we have brands giving us way more for way less. So for the same price that these guys retail for, which is like $135 or something like that, I can either pay that much or less and get a full-length cushion source. I could even pay a slight bit more than that and get not only a full-length cushion source, but an amazing cushion source with something like the D-Rose 6. Now, if Jordan Brand wants to keep being considered like the top-tier performance brand, I do think that they should reconsider the reduction of the heel cushion. Every other brand offers at least one shoe that is around the same price point, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit less, and they offer full-length cushion for that price. So there's really no reason why Jordan Brand can't do it. It's just that they won't do it. And as it sits right now, the Jordan Brand Retro product actually has more tech in the midsoles than their newer stuff does, which is crazy if you think about it. Now, with that said, the cushion here, like I said, is not bad, but it is isolated to the forefoot, and then the rear section and the heel definitely needs break-in time. And for players that have a proper stride, this isn't going to affect you whatsoever not having cushion in the heel, because you're supposed to strike with your midfoot or forefoot, and you're supposed to really only use your heel for braking and stuff like that. So for players that are like that, this kind of setup is perfectly fine. However, if they do decide to implement heel cushion again, it's not going to negatively affect people that run properly. You know what I mean? It's just going to help out the people that don't. So again, they're pretty comfortable for what they offer. The forefoot especially is awesome, but for the price, you could definitely get more, or you can even pay a little less and get more also. Now, their materials are my favorite part of the shoe. Mesh is used predominantly along the entire upper. This section here is actually a really tight knit, kind of knitted upper, and then this side here is just full on mesh. For how quote unquote weak the materials are, they're actually really supportive, which is awesome, and then they fit like a glove as well. So what you receive is a soft, flexible upper with great containment. That's something I personally really enjoy. There are some welded fuse areas right here at the toe. This is for high wear areas, toe drag, things like that. But other than that, there's really not much plastic on this shoe. The rear section of the shoe is just a basic synthetic material. It's almost like a synthetic leather, but not. Now with this section here, I think that they could have gone a little bit more premium than what they did. I think using modern materials up front and then more traditional materials in the back would have been a really awesome contrast, but that didn't affect the performance negatively or positively, so that's just a nitpick or more of a personal preference. They fit true to size, so whatever size you normally wear, that's what I would personally recommend. And then the lacing structure that they used right here is awesome. That allows the entire upper of the shoe to really close and envelope in over your foot. And then these guys right here go all the way down to the footbed, so it keeps the foot from sliding off. And you've got these little heel notches right there in the back, and those keep your heel from popping out of the shoe, which is great. And in my personal opinion, I found the lockdown to be pretty much adequate or on par with any other shoe out there on the market. I've heard both positive and negative things about their overall lockdown, but personally I didn't experience anything negative whatsoever. I didn't experience like crazy amount of support or lockdown, but what I did experience was perfect for on-court use. As far as support, These guys got the job done no problem. The forefoot and the midfoot offered plenty of lockdown. With this dual wrap upper and then those dynamic lacing system, it worked great. From this little crease down is an internal TPU heel counter, and then to add further support, making sure that your heel doesn't fall off the footbed or slide off the footbed, they've exaggerated the midsole back here to really contain and cup that section. So lateral movements, you're going to be stopped by this guy, which is perfectly fine, which is an ideal situation, especially if you're a heavier or powerful player. So overall, if you've enjoyed past Melo models, I think that you're probably going to enjoy these as well. Just keep in mind that this shoe does require some break-in time, both from the midsole cushion and the traction. Again, materials were my favorite aspect of the shoe. I really like the knitted and mesh combination. I thought it felt great. So while they don't excel really in any one aspect, they at least get the job done, and that's really what matters. Now, just to reiterate on the point that I made in the cushion section, there are other brands out there that offer you much more bang for your buck. A lot of people don't mind spending $135 on a sneaker, but when you do that, you expect certain things out of that shoe, and this guy right here just kind of lacks it. And in fact, all of Jordan Brand's current models lack the same stuff. They've been lacking traction, or at least some durability of the traction, and then they all lack heel cushion. Again, there's at least one shoe from every brand that offers you full-length cushion without charging you a premium price. So if every other brand can do it, why can't Jordan Brand? It doesn't make any sense. This shoe is 20 years old and it has more tech in the midsole than this shoe does. That's mind-boggling to me. Full-length zoom, carbon fiber spring plate, nice leather on the upper. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. This thing is a tank. It can last indoors or outdoors or both. Meanwhile, I played 2 hours in these and the traction is halfway gone right at the ball of the foot, and that's crazy. So to have something that's 20 years old in your arsenal that has more tech technically than something that's brand new or modern, I just don't get that. So please, Jordan Brand, put cushion back in the heels of your shoe. You've always had it. I don't know why you went away from it. They stopped doing it in the Air Jordan 29, and I think it's a big mistake. But that pretty much takes care of everything. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for all your support. If you want to know a little bit more detail, or if you wanted to know their scores and their weight and things like that, you can always hit the link in the description box below. It'll take you right over to WearTesters, and you can check that stuff out. So thank you once again, and until next time, guys, have a good one. Smart. But with that being said, let's go ahead, get right into it. Just a quick look at the outsole. You can see that this is a translucent rubber, and basically it's going to offer multi-directional coverage for the most part. Mostly it's going to draw back because that sock liner on the Kobe 11 Elite was awesome. The second thing is that they took away all of the flex grooves that were featured in the original drop